stream, to be honest with you, when I was doing it with you on the Mount Panorama round. Good evening and welcome to the Radical SR8 Championship. Round 6 takes us down under to Phillip Island, Australia. I am Tom Cairns in the commentary position. Alongside me is Jim Cunningham, who will be with me to analyse the action over the course of the next hour and a half. 3 races lined up for you. 15 minutes in race 1, 15 minutes in race 2 and 20 minutes in race 3, where the bigger chunk of points get given out by the end of that one. We're into the last 5 minutes of qualifying. Ptolemy with the fastest time at the moment. We'll go into that a little bit later, but let's have a look at the championship standings as we are entering the second half of the campaign. In the pros, Luke Maxwell, or I should say John Hutchison, with the inclusion of the 2 drop scores, leads the way by 4 points over Mike Bousson in second position. Then it's Luke Maxwell in third place, who has won the last 3 feature races, that is race 3, including the one sole race we had in Le Mans last week. He's in third place and 5 points off the top. Then it's the rookie Jack Veazey in fourth place ahead of Paul Lemay, who's tied with him on 145 points apiece. Paul Crabb sixth on 127. Then it's Ethan Bremer and Jamie Bird running out those who have scored points in the pros. Heading into the AMS, Ben Nunsdown, who is not here this evening at the moment. He's on 117 points and leading the way over Menor de Graaf. 21 points is the gap. There's Michael LeMay in third. Steve Webb, who's continuing to improve over the course of the season. He's in fourth on 89, tied with the reigning AM champion Stefan Millis in fifth. Then it's Gert-Jan Polman, Tim Walters, David Walters, Darren Nunn, Ben Gregory, and Patrick. Got points so far. Josh Reed, Hayden Britton, and Rick Wisham haven't competed yet this season. We have got a new driver this evening, though. That is the Australian Sam Katakousinos, who is racing for the Velocity SimLab squad this evening. Best of luck to him. He is currently fastest in the AMS, so there is a chance he could well get a good haul of points this evening. We hope that he can continue competing in this championship, because it does look like he's got a lot of pace in that machine. Time to bring Jim Cunningham in. Hello to you, Jim. And we are here at Phillip Island, a brilliant circuit, a lot of flow around this track, different to what we perhaps had at Le Mans last week, where it was basically a drag race of a circuit. But this one, I think we are going to be in for a lot of action.
Yeah, I think so. It's good to be here with you, Tom. Yeah, I like this track. I love this track, actually, and I really believe that that this is going to be a great combo. I think this car and this track should. Sometimes you never know. It's kind of like Le Mans last week. It sounded great, but when we actually, the racing, it kind of drug out a little bit there. But I think Phillip Island's going to be a different animal completely. I'm really looking forward to this one. Have been all season, actually. I love this track, and I just always thought this was going to be a fun one. So, yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yep, and there's a lot of corners. So I say there's a lot of corners. There's 12 corners around this circuit, including the likes of Dewan, Stoner, Honda, Siberia, Hayshed, Lukey Heights, MG, and then turns 11 and 12, which Paul Lemay has just come through to complete his latest up. It's not going to be an improvement from what he's done before, but he is still fastest heading into the final moments of this session. Luke Maxwell, who I've already mentioned, has won the last 3 feature races in good form as well. John Hutchison finishing second last week, and Mike Bousson rounding out an all-team Redline podium. And Ben Nunsdown, who won the AM race, I believe, as well, which is good to see, continuing his dominance in that over the course of the season. But considering he's not here tonight, he'll use this one as one of his drop scores. So a lot of questions remain to be answered over the course of 3 races. Race 1, the grid will be decided on the qualifying results, and at the end of race 1, the top 5 finishers will be reversed for race 2, and the same for race 2, except it's the top 10 that will be reversed for race number 3. A lot of unpredictability in the offing, returning to the conventional format from what we had last week at Le Mans, where it was just the one race and 50 minutes it was with a mandatory pit stop involved in that.
Another thing, you brought that up just now. You know what? I've grown to really love this format. I didn't realize how much I loved it until we didn't have it last week. I just like the fact that, we restack them, reshuffle them, and do it all over again a couple of, three times total. I just like that as Qualify is coming to an end here. Yeah, I just thought that's it's actually kind of cool. I missed it.
Polomé takes pole position and another championship point to his name. That's his third pole of the season on the back of his qualifying performances this season. Luke Maxwell alongside him. It's John Hutchinson and Jack Veazey on row 2. Paul Crabb and Even Bremer round out the third row of the grid. It's Sam Katakousinos competed for the first time this season. Fastest of the Yams in P7. Then it's Jamie Bird in 8th. Mike Bousson and Stefan Mellis run out the top 10 with Mendes de Graaf and Steve Webb on row number 6. On the back row, we've got Michael Lemay and Gert-Jan Polman, who are gunning to get themselves back in the AM fight in the stand-ins. We're just waiting on a number of drivers, around about half of the field, in fact. Just very quickly, Jim, race 1, who you think will come out on top?
Well, I mean, obviously your top 3 here in qualifying and top 4. I mean, any one of those guys, it's all going to come down to, who makes that little critical error, drops a wheel off track, gets on the gas a little quick coming out of a turn. But yeah, I mean, if I had to pick somebody, I guess I'd probably pick John, but it could literally be any one of those 4, I think. And that's not to discount Bousson or Bremer. Even Bousson didn't qualify that well, but we know he's fast.
Waiting on Sam Katakousinos to make his way onto the grid. He's got a maximum of 30 seconds before we do go lights out. He is on the grid now, is Sam, and will be ready to go for the first race here at Phillip Island in the Radical SR8 Championship. We have got 1 light coming on now. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Lights are on. Lights off. It's go in Australia. And a huge bump up in the air. That's Sam Katakousinos, who launched in the air there. He hit the back of what I believe was Paul Crabb, and he's been affected by that as they head through doing for the first time. But it's Polomé who drops it in front of John Hutchinson, heading into turn 2, and that is surely race over for Polomé, the pole sitter. What a disastrous moment for him, but it's played brilliantly into the hands of Luke Maxwell, who's going for yet another win, and is into the lead. And it's Jack Veazey, who's remarkably into second place. Jamie Bird up from 8th on the grid into 3rd. Then it's Even Bremer and Mike Bousson, with Stefan Mellis up as the highest in the AMS. But what a disastrous moment at turn number 1 and 2 for the likes of Polomé, John Hutchinson.
Bremer's off.
Further drama at the Bremer has also gone for a spin at Siberia.
Wow, man. Talk about some action. Holy cow. We'll let this settle out here. We'll go back and look at some of that here. But whoa, what a start.
And Michael Lemay, I think, has also got caught up in the mayhem. Plenty of pit stops will be happening as more and more cars. I think that's Gert-Jan Polman.
We got 3
without the front.
three
without the front end of his car.
Yeah, we got 3 meatballs out there. Look at that.
Yeah, Bremer's got a black and orange flag to his name, as has John Hutchinson and Michael Lemay. But it's Luke Maxwell who leads at the bird. Mike Bousson, your top 4. Then it's Stefan Mellis and Mendes de Graaf, the highest in the AMS. It's Paul Crabb in P7, Gert-Jan Polman 8th, Sam Katakousinos, who we thought was launched up in the air, who's running in 9th position. Then it's Steve Webb and Paul Lemay, who has got back into 11th place with drivers pitting in for repairs.
Yeah, let's go back and look at that start from the chopper view here.
But it looks like Sam Katakousinos was the one that launched in the air. He hit the back of Paul Crabb.
Yes, it looks like it. Yeah, he's right behind Paul Crabb, so
Paul Crabb in that green and white livery there on the 3rd row of the grid from 5th place. He's going to get hit by Sam Katakousinos. It was just so away.
Yeah.
Paul Crabb was so away, and Sam Katakousinos just couldn't preempt that. He just got bogged down at the start.
Yeah, and that's happened. That's happened a couple times this season already to Paul. I don't know what's going on there, but that's not the first incident we've had with with him getting off the line slow, if I remember correctly.
Oh, there's an issue about Stefan Mellis has been hit from behind. I think that might have been Gert-Jan Polman that came together with him, and Stefan Mellis has dropped down the order as well. He was leading in the AMS, but he's now tippy-toed down the order, and that was not a good moment. Gert-Jan Polman's front end had already been gone at the end of the first lap. It might have been someone else that tangled with him at the hairpin over at MG, but that was a very, very bad moment for Stefan Mellis. He's dropped down the order and has left himself with some work to do. Even Bremer's still in the pit lane with an enormous amount of damage, and he's probably going to wait until race 2. There is Stefan Mellis. I think that might be, is it Mendes de Graaf that ran into him? Just looking to see.
It's going to be the inside car. It's going to be Bird that got him.
Yeah, it's Bird and Paul Crabb got hit in the aftermath.
Man, well, we already know Paul's car had to be kind of tore up because he literally got run over by Sam. Not that that was Sam's fault. I don't mean to imply that. Yeah, that was holy cow! I didn't expect this kind of action.
He's gone off the circuit as well. Menedegov, he's just been off just before Siberia. That is him tumbling down and struggling even more. Michael May has made his way back into the pit lane. John Hudson, no chance of him scoring big points in this one. 20 points is for a race win, then it's 15 for second, and you have to go all the way down to 17 basically to get 1 point. But if you finish, you will score points. John Hudson running in P12 will get 5 championship points for that finishing position.
Can I change my pick now?
I didn't even notice which one you went for to begin with.
I said if I had to pick somebody, I'd pick John, but I said any one of the first top 4. So, yeah, I'll change my pick to Luke now.
Well, Luke is in the lead, but Jack Feasey is looking feisty here.
He's looking
been stuck
feisty.
Behind him. He's definitely quicker of the two, and he fancies another race win. He's already picked up one this season at Charlotte Roval. Now he's going for win number 2. And if he wants to do that, he wants to get by Luke Maxwell here. Maxwell goes defensive on the approach to Honda Hairpin. And VZ places his car to the outside. Can he do the switcheroo? And Luke Maxwell, you just see lifted off there just to ensure that VZ's momentum had slowed. And that was very clever driving from Maxwell to remain in the lead for the time being.
That was clever driving. That was, yeah, I'm a little shocked that he's getting that defensive. Well, it's a 15-minute race. We're already 5 minutes in, so maybe that's not ultimately that defensive at this point.
Boots on third, Bird off, and Paul Crubb, despite the damage, is up in 5th place. Stefan Millers has remarkably got back into the lead in the AMS. I don't know where he's managed to do it, but he's got back ahead. I suppose Gert-Jan Polman's got damage to his car, whereas Millers doesn't really have damage by the looks of it. He did have a couple of tangles throughout the race, but he somehow got himself into the lead in the AMS.
And I believe Menno de Graaf might have got involved in that little incident too, when because he was on the outside of Stefan when Jamie Bird nipped him going into that turn. So I wonder if Menno possibly picked up a little damage. I'm sure he probably lost his momentum there because Stefan spun right in front of him.
Well, it's all kicking off here, and we see VZ still attacking Maxwell through Stoner Corner, and it'll be Honda next. Will we see a change of lead here? Not quite so yet, but I don't think VZ want to hold back too much because you can see that Mike Buson is looming in large in his mirrors. So it's vitally important that VZ gets through on Maxwell at some point. Now, of course, it's a 5-point difference between winning a race and finishing second, so it's definitely worth going for. But you don't want to jeopardise where you end up if it all goes wrong for you. Top 5 get reversed for race 2, to remind yourselves. Right now, it's Paul Crubb who will end up on reverse grid pole. Yeah,
these two, we're going to see a lot of, these two. Well, the top four guys, they really are very racy this year. They're all of them are very close. And Jamie has had that kind of speed all year too. He just keeps running into little incidents. I just noticed real quick. Looks like Steve Webb might have had an incident. He was running pretty good there, and then, he's out there
with Michael and May.
Yep, he's out there deep. He's going to turn it under. Oh!
He just got a little bit too greedy on the throttle, did Steve Webb on the exit of Honda.
He did. He was trying to run with Paul LeMay there. Paul had just got back by him, trying to work his way back up towards the front, and I think he was probably trying to get on the gas and keep up with Paul, but he had the wrong angle coming out of that turn to get back on the gas that early.
I'm going to interrupt because VZ is looming. I thought he was going to go for it at Honda. I'm surprised that VZ didn't send one to the inside. Paul Crubb gets in front of Jamie Bird for 4th position. Don't know whether Bird made a mistake or whether Crubb was just alongside to get an overtake done brilliantly there. And Paul Crubb, despite being hit at the start and his front end gone missing, has made his way up into 4th place. Here is the overtake from Paul Crubb on the inside of Jamie Bird, and that was a very textbook stuff.
Very nice move.
An overtake. I'm surprised his front end is still there. I thought it had gone when he collided with Stefan Millis over at MG, but somehow was able to carry on is Paul Crubb. right on board with Jack Veazey as they head out of turn 12, the last corner before the pit straight. He is not close enough on the pit straight to even think about going for an overtake. It's probably too quick of a corner at doing to get the overtake done for Veazey, but he'll wait for Honda to complete the overtake. There's still got enough time. We've got 6.5 minutes to go. I will say we've got at most 5 more laps of this, but Veazey will just need to be mindful that Mike Bouson's only a couple of seconds back, and he won't want to take too many risks.
Yeah, probably 5 is about. I don't even know why I'm trying to do the math. You're the math guy. Let me stop that right now. Yeah, no, I think I think Jack's fine where he's at right now. He's going to make one good run at Luke. I don't think he wants to necessarily battle right now. They don't want to bring Busan back into the picture.
Stefan Miller still leading in the AMS. Menedgraf second and Gert-Jan Polman in P3. Sam Kazakusinos in his first race is in 4th and 9th overall with the front end of his car going missing. He'll just want to get to the end of this one and write this one off effectively, but he'll open his points account for the campaign. And we continue to look at the top 2 who are heading through MG now. This is Stefan Mellis, who's 3 seconds clear over Menedgraf. Mellis has got some ground to make up in the race for the AMS title if he wants to retain it. Ben Underdown, the championship leader, is not around tonight. So this is a chance for the likes of Mellis, Menedgraf, Gert-Jan Polman to make up ground. Gert-Jan Polman wasn't around for the first 3 rounds of the season as he was away abroad over in Scotland. But now he is focusing his attentions on getting back involved in the Radical SR8 Championship. He made his return in Charlotte Roval and he was around also for Le Mans. And now he's aiming to continue his form here at Phillip Island. Jamie Bird on the tail of Paul Crabb for 4th position, but this is just as close between Maxwell and Veazey as we are on lap number 8. Not long to go in this first race as the pair head through Honda. Maxwell placing the car in all the right places. No mistakes so far from Maxwell. We haven't really seen that many mistakes from Maxwell over the course of the season. Compared to the previous campaign, Jim, Maxwell was prone to mistakes. This season, he's been able to put an end to it, or so we think so far. And he's made this season like he's owned it.
He has. He's had a couple. They just were in the first or second races. He's really delivered in the feature race every. Obviously, the last 3 weeks, pretty much all the races that he's been here, he's delivered in the feature race. He has made some, but yeah, last year was. He did seem to have a lot of trouble, but in the end, he was, right there in the hunt, obviously, right up till the last race of the last race of the last race. Oh, look at Jack.
That's
no!
Maxwell, and that's gone. Rui gone and Maxwell, and the front end gone and Jack Veazey. Disaster for the pair of them. Maxwell off the circuit. He nearly dropped it coming out of doing, and that's his chances of the win gone. And what a disappointing moment as we see another championship contender being hit from another car. And Veazey, well, if he does go on to win this, it'll be a miracle. Mike Bouson's going into 2nd position, but don't be at all surprised to see Veazey's performance drop and Bousson snatching the lead.
Yeah, this is going to be really, really interesting. In fact, I'm going to stay with Bousson here. From this angle, because we can see him closing, and we'll see. Pull up. Yeah, I don't know, man. That was. I need to go back and look at that real quick. Actually, let's see.
It came out of turn 1.
It was Luke.
You'll see.
Luke had a bad twitch there, though. He twitched right here, and then VC got in the back of him. So I would really say that if anything, that's on Luke because he twitched the back end around, but, I can't put that on VZ. They were racing too close for him to be able to avoid that, I think.
I'll agree with you on that. Yeah, VZ was too close behind, but now he's going to find it quite tricky to hold on to it. I mean, mind you, we've seen a lot of times where the front end goes on these cars and the drivers are able to somehow circulate round and not lose too much time. Maxwell, I'm surprised he's carried on, to be honest with you, because he's got Jamie Bird behind. There's no way he's going to go through the corners with the amount of downforce. That rear end is going to really step out all the time. Bird is going to go through into 3rd place here. You could just see that Maxwell, there's no way he's going to fight this off.
Wing. No, he's got no wing. He can't. In fact, if he doesn't realize he has no wing, which I think he does because he's clearly driving like he doesn't, but it's going to be really, really hard for. Look at this. He's trying to make a run back on Jamie with no wing. Yeah, there's no way. I mean, the front ends on these cars, they can still drive them without it. You can't drive these cars without a wing, not anywhere near speed, you know. I have to say, Busan is not really closing on Jack Veazey at all.
He's not. No, he's not taking enough out of Veazey at this moment in time.
Nah.
It's Busan. But I think Maxwell's target is to try and finish in 5th position. But the trouble he's got is that Millis and Crab are fighting amongst themselves. That could play into the hands of Maxwell, actually, because if Crab and Millis start fighting, and Maxwell can have his gap preserved to the finish. One more lap to go. He's going to try and keep in touch with Jamie Bird, actually. He could use the draft to remain in touch. But 1 lap to go. This is going to be hard for Maxwell to hold on, I think.
McCutcheon. Sorry. McCutcheon just had another incident.
This is over at MG. Through turn 11. Yeah, the car steps out as he touched the curb. The sliding continues. And yeah, it was just a slide. Nothing more than that.
But it dropped him back all the way back to the last car on the track. So he's back in 12th now. So
he's been in 12th position since.
I thought he had moved up. I thought he moved up a couple. I'm sorry.
Well, Bremer's been in the pits the whole time.
Mellis is just off back there.
Yeah, Mellis has gone off the circuit. There goes Crab, who's he's up into 5th place and can try and go after Luke Maxwell, who I think is going to hold on to 4th position. He has enough of a gap to keep hold of it here.
He's actually rolling for no wing, man. I got to give him credit. I would have looped that car 3 times already.
We'll go to race leader Jack Veazey, who's heading through the final corner, and he's going to take the first win of the evening, and he's 2nd in the Radical SR8 Championship. Jack Veazey wins in Phillip Island, Australia. He takes the race 1 win. Mike Buson, 6 seconds behind, comes through in 2nd position ahead of Jamie Bird, who finishes on the podium. Maxwell, despite the rear wing missing on his machine, holds on to 4th position. Paul Crabb 5th, and will start on reverse grid pole. Stefan Millis finishes the highest of the AMs in 6th. Menna de Graaf 2nd in the AMs. Gert-Jan Polman rounds out the AM podium in 8th place. And then we're just waiting for the likes of Paul LeMay, Sam Katsakousinos, Steve Webb, and John Hutchison to head over the line.
I tell you what, my takeaway from that is that drive that Luke Maxwell had there after he wrecked that car to stay in 4th place and not to just tow it to the pits because it was missing a rear wing or whatever. That's the kind of thing that in the long run can win you a championship, because he stayed out there, and that's a decent amount of points he just made right there.
I'm really glad he made it to the end, actually, did Luke Maxwell. I didn't think he would be able to do that. So, yeah, I do perfectly agree. That's damage limitation, and that could decide the championship by the time we get to Monza next month. Let's run down on the final race result for the first race of tonight. It is Jack Veazey who wins out. Then it's Mike Buson 2nd, Jamie Bird 3rd. It's Luke Maxwell and Paul Crabb in 4th and 5th. Crabb will be on reverse grid pole. Stefan Millis, the winner in the AMs, followed by Menna de Graaf, Gert-Jan Polman, Paul LeMay, and Sam Katsakousinos running at the top 10. Steve Webb and John Hutchison with the remainder of the finishes. Michael LeMay and Evan Bremer stopped after either lap 1 or 2. Let's run down on the grid very quickly for race number 2. Paul Crabb on the reverse grid pole. It's Luke Maxwell, Jamie Bird, and Mike Buson on next. Jack Veazey and Stefan Millis are 5th and 6th. It's Menna de Graaf, Gert-Jan Polman, Paul LeMay, and Sam Katsakousinos running out the top 10. Steve Webb, John Hutchison, Michael LeMay, and Evan Bremer round out the grid.
Whew, you did a good job on that. You blew through that. That was fast. Good job.
It's one pay to do. We're waiting for one more car to get onto the grid. John Hutchison will head onto the grid round about now. I believe he is on, and we are good to go for race number 2. 15 minutes it will be, top 10 reversed for race number 3 as a consequence of what happens here in race number 2. 3, 4, and 5 lights come on. Lights are on, lights are off very quickly, and it's a cleaner start off the grid compared to race number 1. But Maxwell leads ahead of Paul Crabb. He got a better start than the Irishman, and they're going to head into Dewan Corner. And it's Maxwell who remains in the lead at the present moment, ahead of Crabb and Buson, who fancies a go at it. And it feels like the fielder have behaved themselves so far around the first couple of corners. as you can just see the field jostling all the way through. And there is John Hudson trying to make up for lost ground after a disastrous race number 1. But Crab is remaining in the draw of Luke Maxwell as they head through Stoner and now the Honda Hairpin. And we are looking to see whether we see any major changes for position. Well, we can see the timing tower going all haywire as we see a number of cars going side by side. Men of the Graph, as we are looking at, is ahead of Gert-Jan Polman, and we switch our attentions to Mike Bousson in 3rd place, and it's Jack Vesey, race 1 winner, going for another win to add to his tally for the campaign. But Luke Maxwell, just like we saw in race 1, up until the collision he had with Jack Vesey, is leading the way, Jim.
Yeah, this is a much cleaner start this time. This is shaping up. This is going to be, I think, a decent race here because you got some fast guys now. They're going to be trying to work their way up from the back, like McCutcheon and and you got Sam. I'll just do that. It's just Sam's back there, and he's pretty fast as an amateur. So there's going to be some good passing action in this one, I believe.
Even Bremer's had a spin on this lap as well. He is not having a good time of it, and Michael LeMay is so out of the race. Both Bremer and LeMay in the pit lane and presumably going no further. Bremer, well, I don't know what's with Ivan Bremer at the moment. He wasn't very well. He totally, I don't want to say bottled it, but he got it wrong when he was speeding in the pit lane when he came in for his mandatory stop, which thrown away the win. And he's had 2 disastrous races here tonight, and it's not got any better.
Yeah, I think that this is one of those circuits that may not be everybody's cup of tea. This I think this is one that you got to have a rhythm for, and I think some people just don't get that rhythm.
Paul Crab is very close to Luke Maxwell through Siberia, and we're heading through the faster section of Hayshed and Lukey Heights very, very shortly. But the field are settling into a river now. We're on the 2nd lap. The clouds have gathered over here in Phillip Island, so I don't know how much that's going to impact track and air temperature for these guys, but
should help grip.
Too much. It should help grip, but yeah, I could agree with it, but I don't think it's going to make a drastic difference compared to what we saw in race number 1. John Hudson on the tail of Stefan Mellis through turn number 12. He's going to pull into the draft and go through here. I don't think Mellis is going to fight this one too much.
No.
Hudson will probably go to the inside here. That's the ideal line you want to take, but in actual fact, Mellis is actually fighting it out with Hudson, and he's keeping back for the time being. But Maxwell leading the way, and you can see Crab, Bousson, and Vesey nose to tail.
This is quite a run up here in the front. Look! Oh my goodness! What happened there, Bousson?
He caught the gravel. He caught the leftover gravel that was on the racing line as they came out of the southern loop.
That was a nice save.
Crab and Maxwell for the lead. Crab leads ahead of Maxwell. He got the move done at Honda Hairpin. That was a good overtake from Paul Crab. And Luke Maxwell, I had to say, he had to yield there. He had to be kind, because otherwise the 2 cars would have come together and it would have caused a concertina.
That was, Paul Crab's making some passes tonight. Let's look at that real quick. Well, he just sent it same place he passed Bird earlier with that super clean pass. Look at that, man.
That was superb stuff from Paul Crab. And he's actually been able to pull away as he got on the throttle. He's all fired up this time around, is Paul Crab. And he is going for another win this season. He's won already at Charlotte Roval. Can he get another win? I don't think he picked up any wins last season, Paul Crab, from memory. But he has picked up one this time around. And could he be in play for a 2nd win of the season? Mike Bousson is aiming for his 2nd win of the campaign. I think he had won.
Look at
this.
It
was over in Donington. He's heading through on his teammate. So there's probably a team going on at Radline. And Bousson heads through on Maxwell, but is Maxwell going to give it up? Well, no, they're still fighting it out between Maxwell and Bousson.
Oh, I don't team game.
Just team, well, never mind.
He run him out there.
Team game. They're fighting for the championship together, and that's allowed Jack Vesey to close in. Someone's going to have to yield between Maxwell and Bousson, but Bousson is still right there, sticking his nose up the inside at Honda, and still wheel to wheel, and remarkably leaving each other respect.
But they're squeezing each other.
All further and further away.
They're squeezing each other out to the edge of the track, though. On both of them, they're like I said, they're giving a little room and everything, but they are absolutely pressing the other guy out to the edge of the track.
Maxwell and Bousson still side by side through MG. Down the inside goes Buson. Is Maxwell going to yield this time? I think he may have to because there's 2 fast corners before the lap is over. Yeah, he does, but he gets hit by Jack Veazey, and Maxwell is off.
Gosh, man, I got to put that back on Luke again, man. That's two times, and both of the times I think it was his fault. He slid across Jack's nose there. No, it's not what he needed at all. There's still a lot of time though. We still got a few minutes left in this race. He can recover from that. It didn't hurt his car.
He'll probably get through all the AMs, but that is as far as it will go, I think, for Luke Maxwell. The sun has come back out on the circuit at Phillip Island, and right now it is Paul Crabb who leads the way, and it's Mike Boosel and Jack Veazey. Is Paul Crabb on his way to another win this season, or are we going to see Mike Boosel head to the top? There goes. That has to be Sam Katakousinos into 8th position, and in 2nd place in the AMs past Menard de Graaf. And then the car in his way for an AM win is Stefan Millis.
Right there, too. Yeah, we'll stay here for a second and watch these guys battle it out a little bit. I'm keeping my eye on those front guys right now. They're kind of staying put.
Katakousinos having a better time of it in race 2 compared to race 1. We'll get a replay of the incident involving Luke Maxwell because that's a very, very pivotal point in the race and in the championship.
Yeah, let's see here. So you can see he just. That's where it's marked. But hold on, I'm gonna back it up. I can get back further than that. All right. So
I want to see an onboard of Veazey because he was really, really close.
Yep, we'll do that next. Let's go. We'll jump back here real quick. And I'll back it up 5 more seconds. I'm going to go on board with Veazey. Whoops, I didn't get there quick enough. Sorry.
Veazey running into Maxwell. I don't know. I mean, they were very, very close anyway with Veazey. That's Maxwell's on board.
Oh, it sure is. I'll eventually get it, I promise. All right, here we go. Well, right here, there.
That's Maxwell's car still at the moment.
I can't get to Veazey quick enough. All right, let me jump back here to the live for a second. We'll get it in a minute. We got a little action going on up here. Let's go see what's happening up here real quick.
Well,
I'll settle in.
Veazey's on the Taylor Buson for 2nd position. They are beginning to close on Paul Crabb with 7 minutes remaining at Phillip Island. Paul LeMay running in 4th position as well. Jamie Bird, who's the only pro out of the field, who's yet to register a race win this campaign. He did win a couple of times at least last season. He won 2 races in Thruxton, I remember,
which is
in
coming.
the previous campaign.
Which is coming up soon.
We'll have a look on the calendar after race 2's ended because there will be a 5-minute warm-up prior to race number 3. But there goes Jack Veazey on Mike Bousson into Doohan corner. He leaves Bousson's space. Oh, that nearly ended in the same way as what happened in race 1 with Maxwell. Did you see that sight switch from Bousson?
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was going to drop it for a moment. But that really could have been history repeating itself for Jack Veazey.
Yeah, these two are fighting it out, but they are closing on Paul Crabb all at the same time. Out
of Honda they come, and it's Bousson and Veazey in 2nd and 3rd. No change there yet. We've got Paul LeMay in there as well. John Hutchison's got by Jamie Bird for 5th position. As they continue to filter through the remaining sections of the course, gone through Hayshed. This is Lukey Heights next. Is Veazey going to go for it? He's thinking about it up the inside on Bousson at MG. Bousson leaves a tremendous amount of space, and that allows Veazey to go through, and Paul LeMay takes advantage of the open door, and he's going to get up into the podium places. So Bousson, in the attempt to try and go after Paul Crabb, has seen him drop back into 4th position behind Veazey and LeMay.
Yeah, that was, well, I tell you what, Paul, he was just lurking back there waiting for that little spot to open up. And don't look now, but there's a purple Scottish car. Oh, look at this.
LeMay's gone through. LeMay's got past Veazey for 2nd position. Paul LeMay up into P2 ahead of Jack Veazey, who's trying to respond by coming back through on the inside out of the southern loop. But there's just no way he's going to get through. He may just wait until they get to Honda corner. He won't want to do it round the outside there because that's not the ideal overtaking spot. But he needs to be wary of Buson. There goes Mahutson running a little too deep. And that's going to allow Jamie Bird to come back through. Mahutson's attempt to get by Buson has backfired. And Bird has got through, albeit briefly, before the Scotsman retaliates.
Ooh, this is crazy. This battle up here.
We've essentially got a 5-car battle for P2.
We do.
Involving Paul LeMay, Mike Buson, Jack Veazey, Jamie Bird, and John Mahutson.
Yeah, don't look now, but Paul Crabb said, I'll see you guys later. I'm going to get on out of here.
Yeah, he doesn't want to have any involvement in this, does Paul Crabb? He wants to focus on this race. He's actually got a commanding lead. It's coming up to 2 seconds because these 5 are continuing to dice it out for second place in this race. And I have to say, we have been treated to a lottery event here at Phillip Island. Paul LeMay coming through on Jack Veazey for second position. Mike Buson is waiting in the wings. He's boxing himself behind the 2 cars. And he's just allowing these 2 to dice it out. He may even do a 3 goes Hamilton moment if he can help it. But Veazey is on the inside of Paul LeMay. Buson waiting around. No way through yet for Buson at the southern loop. And LeMay just holds on to P3. And see Jamie Bird fighting it with Buson for 4th place. He's got the inside as Bird for the corner here at Honda. Buson, that's a lock-up from Bird. He did his best to not run into Paul LeMay. Buson had to leave him room.
There goes McCutcheon.
He lifted off the brakes to avoid running into Bird, did Buson, and Hudson has gone past.
Wow. Yeah, they're finally starting to spread out just a wee bit here instead of running side by side through here.
Sam Katakousinos, the highest in the AMS. He's got Stefan Millis right behind him. And Mendegaard and Steve Webb. We've got a 4-way battle for the win in the AMS and a 5-car battle for second place in the pros. This is unbelievable.
This is what I thought was going to come from Phillip Island in these cars right here. We didn't get it in the first race, but we're sure getting it now.
Absolutely, for sure. It's just a shame Luke Maxwell's not involved in this.
It really is.
Yeah, he's down in 11th position. He's got 8 seconds to make up in that 4-car battle in the AMS. And fighting for the minor points is Luke Maxwell. And there goes Paul LeMay on Veazey again for second position. Is he going to have the drive off the southern loop? Maybe not the exit he would have liked to have done. Although he had a decent exit. It's just that Veazey remained in the draft and has gone through. Almost here. You can see LeMay defending the inside, and that's the right thing to do. Placed the car nicely for Honda, and that was a textbook manoeuvre from Paul LeMay to keep hold of second position. And we're still seeing Bird, Mahutson and Buson dice it out for what is 4th place. And Veazey's remaining on the tail of LeMay for the time being, with 1 more lap to go after this.
Wow, talk about a race flying by, man. I had no idea this race was close to over. Holy cow, this was great.
It's been a super drive from Paul Crabb. Remember, he was on reverse grid pole coming into this race. Luke Maxwell got by, and Crabb got back through at the hairpin with that sensational overtake at Honda. And Maxwell just dropped it when he and Jack Veazey came together.
Yeah, look at John here, man. He's been gnawing on the back end of Jamie Bird now for a while. He can't seem to get it done.
Hudson on the inside of Jamie Bird through turn number 1 at Dewan. And I think Hudson's going to have this one. Unless Bird can keep his car alongside for the southern loop. He does so. You'll have to really, really run Hudson out wide. He needs to be more aggressive than this, as Jamie Bird has done enough to remain there for the time being. But what about the battle for P2 between Paul LeMay and Jack Veazey through Stoner for the last time? Does Veazey decide to send one at Honda? Not this time around. Honda MG is probably the last corner on this circuit where Veazey can make the overtake work. But he is running out of time. Paul Crabb on his way to victory. He's got a couple of seconds in hand, more or less, on the rest of the field. He needs to make no more mistakes from here on in. But this is the battle we'll be focusing on until we see Paul Crabb head over the line. Jack Veazey in 3rd place, gunning for that second position after what's been a topsy-turvy race. He wants to end this one on a high. Mahutson attempting to get by Bird. Veazey wasn't able to get by LeMay that time. I think LeMay's going to hold on to second position. But we go to Paul Crabb, who exits the final corner on the circuit and it's going to be the race to win. It is win number 2 of the season for Paul Crabb. He wins at Phillip Island. A terrific race. Paul LeMay holds on to second ahead of Jack Vesey, Jamie Bird, John Hodgson, and Mike Bousson in 6th place. Mena de Graaf got by Stefan Melis and Sam Katsakousinos on the last lap to take the AM win. Melis 2nd, Katsakousinos 3rd, with Steve Webb just behind in 4th. Luke Maxwell 11th overall, and we just wait for Gert-Jan Polman to head over the line. What a race again.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. I'm going to see if we can get this replay in real quick here.
This is Mena de Graaf getting by Stefan Melis over at Honda.
Hold on.
He already got by Katsakousinos.
Here we go. I knew it was coming fast, and you can't. I wish they could change that where we could watch replays during this 5-minute warm up. But okay, well, I got to catch my breath after that one. That was exciting.
The race 2 result has ended up being won by Paul Crabb, taking his 2nd win of the campaign. Paul LeMay was 2nd ahead of Jack Vesey, Jamie Bird 4th, John Hodgson 5th, and Mike Bousson in 6th place. Mena de Graaf wins out in the AMs over Stefan Melis and Sam Katsakousinos, who gets his first AM podium ahead of Steve Webb, who will start race 3 on reverse grip pole. Will he actually start on reverse grip pole, or will he decide to start from the pit lane? We'll find out in around about 5 minutes' time. Luke Maxwell 11th. He'll be gutted with that, as will Gert-Jan Polman, who felt like there was a win in the AMs. Michael LeMay and Eva Bremer stopped with before the first lap had even been completed.
Well, I think Steve Webb answered that question last week. If you remember, when we had the rolling start at Le Mans last week, and we had talked to him after the race, and he said that he had been working on his starts and he was ready to do a standing start, and they threw a rolling start in there and messed him up. So I got a feeling he might jump out there and start right in front of the field tonight.
We'll see soon enough. We are into the warm-up session, so we've got a few minutes to have a little breather. But here is the calendar for the season. We've been to Silverstone, Donington, Imola, Charlotte Roval, and Le Mans. Tonight is Phillip Island, and we head back to Europe at Zandvoort, and it's over to the land of the rising sun at Suzuka, Japan. Back to the UK we go after that on the 6th October in Thruxton. One to look forward to. Me and Jim, in particular, most certainly enjoyed the last time the Radical SR8 Championship raced on that course. And it's off to the historic configuration of Monza on the 13th of October for the season finale, where we expect both Pro and AM championships to be decided there. It's a lottery. It's a curveball of an event. You do not want to miss that.
It's so much fun. I don't know. There's just something about that place that just makes it so much fun. So my takeaway from that second race, obviously, other than the incredible action, that's so what I hope to see when we were coming to Phillip Island with these cars. That's what I envisioned it was going to be. But I wish that we would have gotten the chance in replay to see the last lap there from the amateurs. We had 3 position changes on that last lap there. I wish we could have gotten that chance to look at that replay, because that seemed like it was pretty impressive.
Got some cars on circuit. Stefan Melis is determined to get a little bit more mileage on the racetrack, as is Mena de Graaf. Some drivers are just perhaps gone for a little bit of a toilet break, or just gone to get a drink or something before the 3rd and final race begins. And then it'll be some post-race interviews being conducted by me and Jim to complete the evening's action. We've been treated to another brilliant event here at Phillip Island. Don't forget to get involved in the live chat. If you're watching, do make sure you get involved in the chat if you ever so wish to do so. If you have any questions for me and Jim to answer. And, of course, like and subscribe so you can keep right up to date with all the action that's been shown on the JP Broadcasting channel itself.
Yeah, so what's your takeaway from what we've seen here so far tonight overall?
Well, it's been an unpredictable one. I mean, Jack Vesey winning race 1, Paul Crabb race 2. And once again, I have to say, it's another example that it's not been the John Hodgson show at all.
No.
We get to round 6, and he's only won 1 race all season, compared to last season where I think he won
10, 11? Yeah, 10 or 11, something like that.
Yeah, it was something like that. He won nearly half of the races, did John Hodgson. But so far, as we reached round 6, we've done in total 30. I'm just trying to work out my maths again. It's 15 races we've done so far now, with one more to go this evening. Considering that last week you only did one race at Le Mans, out of 15 races, he's only won one of them. John Hudson.
Yeah. I think, he jokingly said he didn't know if everybody else was getting faster or he was getting slower. Last week, he had made that comment, but I tell you what, these guys have risen to the occasion, and I think a lot of them were fast enough. They're starting to minimize their mistakes. John had a lot of laps in these cars, and I think that the field is slowly catching up. We know the guys are getting faster, and the addition of VZ, who's been lightning fast since he got here, and Luke Maxwell, short of tonight, has been, like you said, cut down on the mistakes and running really well. I love it. I love what we got going on right now.
The warm-up session has concluded, and we are ready to go for race number 3 here at Phillip Island, Australia. Here is the grid for the third and final race of tonight. Steve Webb on reverse grid pole, and it's the home hero, Sam Katakousinos, in second place. Stefan Mers and Mena de Graaf on road 2, followed by Mike Bousson and John Hutchison. Then it's Jamie Bird and Jack Vesey, who's going for another win. Paul and May and Paul Crabb ran out the top 10, and it's Luke Maxwell and Gert-Jan Polman on row number 6. The final row of the grid is rounded out by the 2 cars that retired in race 2, Michael LeMay and Even Bremer. Bremer needs to end his evening on a high. 2 non-finishers so far. He wants to complete race 3 and get a good haul of points to round off what's been a difficult couple of rounds for him in particular.
I agree. And we're sitting here looking at Steve Webb sitting on the pole.
We've got the lights coming on now, Jim, and we are gearing up for the third and final race. We've got 3, 4, and 5 lights coming on. Lights are on. Lights off. It's go for Phillip Island for one last time. It was a brilliant start from Katakousinos, who's got the jump on Steve Webb, who has not had too bad of a start considering his previous ones, but he is down to second place, and he's got Stefan Mers alongside through Duran Corner. And we look at Mike Bousson has made up ground already. He's made up one position, but as we see the field jostling through the southern lead,
Crab's around.
And Crab has gone round at the back. We'll come to that in a moment, but Mellis is ahead of Webb. Mena de Graaf is ahead of Steve Webb for the time being, although Webb is still ahead of Mena de Graaf, I should say, as they head through Honda Corner, but de Graaf is to the inside of Webb. We watch out. Oh, that's contact. That's Jamie Bird running into Steve Webb on the entry to Honda. That could affect the handling of Webb's machine, but Bousson is alongside Webb, who is determined to maintain 4th position, and remarkably is able to do so. Though by no means is Webb by a pushover compared to the rest of the field. He's getting his elbows out, and he's going to find it tough to keep it up with the likes of Katakousinos, Mellis, and de Graaf.
Wow. Yeah, another kind of exciting start there. This thing keeps the balancing itself out. Paul Crabb spins here after winning the last race. Man.
Through the penultimate turn, and it'll be the last corner before the lap is out. Katakousinos leading the way. He's been the quickest out of the field so far, but he hasn't won either of the races in the AMS. In race number 3, he could have a chance to maybe not even go for, not just win in the AMS. Could he possibly become the first driver this season in the AMS to win outright? That would be quite a feat there for Sam, if he can help it. But there we see Webb, and he's just been overtaken by Mike Bousson now as Webb, so he's down to 5th position. Bird, Vesey, and Maxwell are looming in behind. I suppose the good news for Maxwell in a way is the fact that John Hutchison has had a mare of it so far tonight, and he's down the order in 10th position.
I tell you what, he really has. These guys are dicing back here.
They sure are, and they'll continue to dice out all the way through lap number 2. And Webb is still fighting it out with Bousson here. I'm really happy to see him perform the way he has been doing.
Yes.
Because I think the first few races he did, it was just more about learning the ropes, and he couldn't get his starts right. Then he'd been working on them away from the broadcast. Oh, that's Bird dropping it through MG.
Mellis is around.
Yeah, I don't know how he's managed to do that. I wonder if he's come together with Mena de Graaf on the exit of MG, but Mellis has gone round. That makes Sam Katakousinos' life a lot easier, and we are seeing Webb Buson, VZ, and Maxwell go into combat.
Wow. Yeah, let's see.
3 wide almost into doing corner. And VZ wisely slotted back in behind my Buson. That could have been remarkable if he was able to pull it off. There was no way he was going to pull that one off because that would have been a concertina collision and that could have caused problems for others behind as well.
Yeah, I don't think that was going to work. That's one of those better to live to fight another day situations.
Maxwell and Bird still tussling. Hutchinson and Gert-Jan Polman are dicing over 8th position. Polman holds on for the time being. We see Bird and Maxwell side by side through Siberia. And it's Maxwell has to give way. And I have to say, the lead that Katsakousinos has got is 2.5 seconds and over the rest. And I just wonder if either of the pro drivers get through on Webb and de Graaf, is Katsakousinos going to have the pace to hold them back? Because it's a longer race, this one, compared to races 1 and 2. And I've got a feeling Katsakousinos may be able to hold on here.
Well, yes, it's possible. We don't know, but I tell you what, one of the things, he got slotted in as an amateur because it's his first week in the league here, and the season's already half over. But his I rating is, in fact, we'll take that real quick. Got a second here. If we look at the I ratings of the field, his I rating is pretty decent. He's right at 4,000 on his I rating. So he's a well-accomplished driver. So it wouldn't surprise me if he was able to hold on with that kind of lead. He's certainly...
It's the license number that's been shown on the timing tower. But there's Webb, who spins in front of the pack. He carried too much speed at Honda, and he needs to be careful. He needs to rejoin safely. He does so just about as Gert-Jan Polman goes through. But I think all the pressure had been soaked up on Webb, and he just carried a little too much speed into Honda, and he paid the price.
Yeah, that's actually their license, and their I rating is inside of the license color there.
Wait, now seeing the field settling into this one. There goes Jamie Bird on Mena de Graaf for 3rd position. VZ's through into 2nd place now. So this is a true test to see if Katsakousinos can hold firm ahead of VZ here. He's got over 3 seconds in hand. There is over 14 minutes remaining. We're probably looking at 11 more laps, judging by what we saw in both races prior to this one. But there is Mena de Graaf trying to retaliate with Bird, and there is Buson looming in large. Maxwell, he nearly went through the middle there. Had he tried to do that, both him, Buson, and de Graaf would have collided.
Yeah, that would have been a 3-way death right there. They would have all went down.
Bird in P3. Buson still there with Mena de Graaf, who has left the door open here. Buson's going to go to the inside of de Graaf. I don't think de Graaf is going to really hold this one off this time around. Buson's exit is brilliant, and he's going to head through into 4th position. Maxwell is desperate to find a way through. Hutchinson has slowly come through into P7. This is by no means a plain sailing even for the Scotsman. Maxwell is heading through what is Lukey Heights. Is he going to send one up the inside at MG? We'll see in a moment here. He runs into de Graaf almost. That was so close.
So close. Yeah, that was a big lockup for Buson there, I think.
Well, de Graaf has gone down. He spun at turn 10.
Did he?
Or turn 11, rather.
Let's see. He went off track. Let's see what happened to it. Yes, I got to slip on that neck.
He gets a twitch. Did he get hit initially by Maxwell? Not so sure he did, but
no, I don't think so.
I wonder if that had any say on how de Graaf had lost places. He's behind Gert-Jan Polman. He's down to 3rd in the AMS. He's Mena de Graaf. Steve Webb remains in front of Paul and May.
VZ's cut over a half a second out on Sam on this lap, and he's rapidly closing.
We'll go to live images because we're seeing de Graaf go through on Polman, who is the latest to go round at Honda corner. He's dropped back. Paul Crabb and Steve Webber dicing it out for 11th and 12th places. Crabb gets through on Webb at last. And the gap between Katakousinos and Veazey has come down to 2.1 seconds on lap number 6.
Yeah.
Veazey, well, he's got all the time in the world. He's got Bird, Boost. Oh, that's a twitch. The Veazey's going to go round MG. He spins. He spins in front of the pack. Thankfully, he doesn't take anyone with him. But that's Veazey's chance of the win gone.
Gee whiz. That is something else.
It just gets even better for the home hero, Sam Katakousinos, who is now 3.7 seconds clear over second place. Jamie Bird, the highest in the pros. And Bousson and Maxwell are determined to end their evenings on a high. And John Hudson has gained another position at the expense of Veazey's error. And Bird, a little too deep there coming through the southern loop. This is essentially the battle for the win in the pros. Never thought I'd be saying that because the AM driver, Katakousinos, is in the lead overall. Veazey's just come back through on Mellis for 11th position, which is a little consolation. But there is Maxwell to the outside of Bousson. The red line drivers are going to have to work together here because you can see Bousson, Maxwell and Hudson in basically a convoy, you could say now, because they're just line astir, but they want to try and get by Jamie Bird as soon as possible, and then they can go after Katakousinos.
Well, to be fair, Jamie is, leading this train, as you called it, and they are slowly, well, not slowly, they're cutting this into this gap on Sam. It had gotten almost up to 4 seconds there after Veazey spin, and everybody kind of slowed up because he spun in front of them. They've got it down to almost 3 seconds now, so they're working on it. The problem is these guys are battling back here behind, and that's only going to slow the train up.
Well, they've just come through to complete another lap. And there is Bousson and Maxwell. Is Maxwell going to go through on both Bird and Bousson? He doesn't do so. Bousson went for it around the outside of Bird, but it was just not going to be enough room for the pair of them to get through together. And Bird somehow is able to hold on ahead of the red line drivers. And that is the first glimpse of Bird being able to fend off Bousson at this phase. But I wonder if Maxwell may go through on Bousson here at Honda Corner. Well, Bousson's going defensive. Maxwell to the outside like he did so last time at this particular section of the course. And Bird is able to fend off for the time being. Further back, Minna de Graaf and Gert-Jan Polman are in a dice of their own. Paul Crabb's trying to make up for lost time, as is Jack Veazey. Crabb is ahead of Webb. Veazey is just behind Webb. As we continue on.
I have to say, I think if they got by Bird here, by Bousson here, I think they'd make quick work of Bird as well. I think that Maxwell's faster than these guys. He just can't get by him, especially with Mike driving a little defensive, and that's just, but they're absolutely cutting into Sam's gap up there. It's down to 2.3 seconds now.
Bousson made an error. Sorry to cut you across you, Jim.
Yep.
Bousson made an error on the exit of the penultimate turn, and that's left him exposed.
There we go.
To Maxwell, who is making the most of the draft of Jamie Bird before they head through Dewan Corner. Maxwell to the outside of Bousson, and they're going to be wave through wheel to wheel before they get to the southern loop. Maxwell has the inside line for turn number 2, and that is enough for Maxwell to head through. I think Bousson had to be kind at that time. He didn't want to risk too much, but now he's going to have to allow Maxwell to just go after Bird here. They are getting the gap down to Katakousinos, so the gap is down to 2.2 seconds with around about 8 minutes to go. There will be, at the moment, 6 more laps of this race left for Katakousinos to take his first win, not just in the AMs, but overall, which would be remarkable stuff. He'll become the first AM driver this season to take an overall win.
I wonder if we've ever had a first race winner. Shows up first race in the league and wins one, especially the feature. That's pretty impressive. No matter amateur, pro, it doesn't matter. These guys are good, just to show up and beat them like that.
I can't remember last season whether it was at the historic Monza configuration where an AM driver won overall. Oh, Birds made an error. Nearly cutting across on Maxwell. That could have ended up in a similar way to what we saw between Maxwell and Veazey earlier this evening. But Bousson is now on the tail, as is Hudson, so there could be even be 4 wide if they could try it. But on the course like this and the nature of doing corner, there's no way I don't think they'll get through together. But Maxwell is looking to the inside of Bird. Bird is almost engulfed by Buson and Maxwell as they head out of there towards the southern loop. Bird is more than a car's length in front, and Buson and Maxwell are having to fight amongst themselves before they come out of the southern loop. Maxwell runs wide. Hutchinson is waiting in the wings to pounce. And Bird is still able to hold on and staying in touch with Katakousinos as the minutes continue to tick down here at Phillip Island. Hutchinson heading through on Maxwell at Honda Corner. The two of the championship protagonists going into combat. And Hutchinson is heading through on the outside, but Maxwell says, no, you don't. No way you are coming through. Although Hutchinson is still within the car's length alongside before they come through the faster sections of the course of Hayshed and Lukey Heights. But it's Maxwell holds on to 4th position overall ahead of the Scotsman.
What a battle, man. These guys are just dicing back here past. Oh, Jamie gets a little lock up there, and Buson runs right up on him.
Yeah, Bird needs to be careful. He just doesn't make the same mistake as what he did last time at this particular section of the course. He doesn't run wide that time, but Maxwell and Buson are really large, and Hutchinson is he's taking a little bit of a back seat from this, because this could get very, very spicy here between Bird, Buson and Maxwell coming through doing corner, and you could just see Buson heading through on Bird that time. Does Maxwell follow suit? Well, he tried to... Oh, Buson nearly dropped it. He very nearly dropped it in a similar way to what Luke Maxwell did in race number 1 when he and Jack Vesey came together. Buson is able to keep hold of the car. He's got the gap down to 1.6 seconds between him and Sam Katakousinos. But we're looking at Bird and Maxwell, who are staying in touch in this three-way battle for 2nd position overall and victory in the pros. Buson stays in front ahead of Maxwell. But this is getting increasingly interesting. And Buson has almost dropped it, but he's still ahead of Maxwell, Bird and Hutchinson. Paula May could even get involved in this if he's lucky.
Oh, he's back there slinging that rear end around trying to catch these guys. What a battle. Holy cow.
Incredible stuff here down under at Phillip Island. Buson is still in 2nd position. And despite the fact that they are fighting amongst themselves, Buson's able to get the gap down to 1.3 seconds on Katakousinos. There's still a chance for Mike Buson to win this race. But he won't win it if his car drifts around like that at the penultimate turn. And Maxwell, well, he's absolutely getting impatient here. He wants to be in front of Buson so he can go after Katakousinos, but he needs to keep the battle in between him and Buson to a minimum before Katakousinos decides to respond and pull out the gap again.
Yeah, let's see.
Maxwell's through. Maxwell's got by Buson at doing corner.
Yep, he pulled it off, managed to get a good run through there, and he kind of squeezed Buson out to the edge of the track there a little bit to give himself some room to maintain his momentum through there. That was actually a nice pass through that corner section through there, Duhan there.
Bird and Buson to the inside here. Hudson going to the outside. He feels he can get by Bird here. But Bird spins around. He applies the throttle and he's off. It's Bird. Oh, don't rejoin into the... I thought he was going to rejoin into the path of another driver there. David Bird, that was a dangerous rejoin. And Bird has dropped down the order.
Yeah, that was... A
first win of the season continues to go begging for Jamie Bird. Lake Maxwell. 8/10 it's come down to. I would say we've got 3 more laps of this.
Sam just locked him up.
Yeah, Sam locked up at MG. He's really feeling the pressure now. This is where Katakousinos' defense is going to be put to the true test. This could even determine whether he ends up becoming a pro driver from the next round or next season. Either way, this is a chance for him to show that he is not an AM driver for nothing.
Yeah, that's his... I mean, there's a lot of pressure. You show up to a league and you got some of the thoroughbreds right behind you trying to run you down, and they're catching you at this rate. Man, it's hard not to make a mistake in those spots.
This is going to be very difficult for Katakousinos to hold on here. I thought he might have had enough of a gap when he had over 3 seconds slot, but now it's come down to basically nothing between him and Luke Maxwell as they fight for the lead. This is the first part of defense that Katakousinos is. You can just see...
he locked him up again. No, he locked him up.
Well, that held off Maxwell for the time being because Maxwell had to lift off there, which will have upset his momentum a little. But now you can just see Maxwell, Hutchinson, who's behind Buson in 4th place, and Paul LeMay's there to pick up the pieces in case anything does happen between the likes of Katakousinos and Maxwell. Maxwell going to the outside through Leaky Heights. No way through just yet. We've got the hairpin of MG to come through. Is that the moment where Maxwell goes through? Well, he had a twitch on the approach, and that gives the buffer that Katakousinos needs for a brief moment. But you could just see there's a whole lot more to come in these final couple of laps. They'll head over the line. There is enough time to get 2 more laps out of this. Katakousinos had hoped there would be just 1 more, but he's got 2 more tours to cope with this.
I tell you what, I think Luke is getting a little antsy here because he knows he's got Buson and McCutcheon behind him, and if he doesn't get this move done, he's going to end up battling those guys, and Sam's going to have the opportunity to step out on him again. I think Luke is pushing hard to get this done on this lap right here.
The top 5 all in picture. Luke Maxwell looming in large behind Sam Katakousinos as we begin the penultimate lap. Mike Buson is determined to get back through over his Team Redline teammate, and there could be a lot of changes here in the final couple of laps here. Maxwell's so much later on the brakes compared to Katakousinos, and it's backfired, and he's collided with John Mahutson as he rejoins. So his attempt for going for the lead has seen him drop down to 5th position. Now it's Mike Buson who's the man going after Katakousinos for the win.
Yep, I think, Luke drove it in there. Too deep. He tried to make the pass on the outside of that hairpin, or maybe I think he might have been trying to do a crossover and come back under him, and he drove it in there too deep. And, those guys were right behind him, so he couldn't recover from it.
This is nail-biting stuff for the fans of Sam Katakousinos. I don't know how many fingernails they've got left, but this is it. 1 more lap to go. Are we going to see an AM driver win outright for the first time in the Radical SR8 Championship this season? Or is Mike Buson going to snatch that win away and be closer in the championship standings between himself, Luke Maxwell, and John Mahutson? 1 more tour to go. Can Sam Katakousinos hold on and take a win in his debut round in the Radical SR8 Championship? Can Mike Buson get by, or even John Mahutson pull this one off? Mahutson has only won once this season, remember, compared to 11 he won in the previous campaign. But now, if he's going to win this one, not only he's got to get by Buson, but he has to get by Katakousinos as well. Side by side go Mahutson, Buson, and even Paul LeMay is getting involved in this. Buson to the inside. Mahutson goes a little too deep, and LeMay may have something to say on that. Buson nearly drops it coming out of Honda corner. Next, Mahutson through on the inside at Siberia.
There goes Buson
takes damage, and that's the front end gone on Buson's car. Now it's Mahutson's turn to go after Katakousinos to stop him from taking victory. Has he got enough time? He's got one more genuine attempt of an overtake to get the move done on the Australian. Sam Katakousinos, I think, has done enough. He should have enough here to hold on ahead of the pack here. But what an effort, what a drive from the home hero, Sam Katakousinos, who has fended off. He's defied all the odds. He put out enough of a margin before he got closed up, but he's done enough here. Sam Katakousinos, on debut, wins in the Radical SR8 Championship. He is the first AM driver to win outright in this series this season. What a job from Sam. Brilliant job indeed. John Mahutson finished the highest of the pros. Paul LeMay is in 3rd place. It's Mike Buson and Luke Maxwell in 4th and 5th. Paul Crow recovers to 6th. Jack Veazey 7th. Gertjan Polman 2nd in the AMs, with Jamie Bird, Mena de Graaf, who rounds out the AM podium. Stefan Mellis and Steve Webb dropped back so much since the last we saw of him.
Look,
what an event.
If you don't like that, something is wrong with you. That was as good as it gets right there. Holy cow.
A remarkable win.
That was fantastic.
A superb win.
Fantastic, man. Wow.
The race 3 result, probably the race of the season so far. Sam Katakousinos comes out on top and the first AM driver to win overall this season. John Mahutson 2nd, Paul LeMay 3rd, Mike Buson in 4th. It's Luke Maxwell, Paul Crabb and Jack Veazey, the top 6 in the pros. Gertjan Polman 2nd in the AMs. Jamie Bird 9th overall. Mena de Graaf, the last of those on the podium in the AMs. Stefan Millis and Steve Webb were the last of those to finish. Michael LeMay and Ethan Bremer didn't even start.
Man, I can't get that. Was so much fun. Holy cow.
That is arguably the race of the season, no doubt about that. Had so much, I have to say. We might as well go into the interviews now, Jim, because Paul May is waiting. We'll get a word with him to ask him to, from his point of view, how he felt this evening had gone for him. Paul May, how are you, sir? Not quite a win this evening, but you were very much in the reckoning for a race win, though, in those closing laps in that third race.
Yeah, good evening, guys. That was really, really tough. Race one. Apologies to John. I'd done some opening laps on cold tyres, quite confident I could go through at the speed I did, and the rear end just came round. So my apologies to anybody caught up in that. Enjoyed it. All a bit of a blur, really. Cooked my tyres a bit in race 3. Just trying to catch the guys up was really difficult, but thankfully we got there.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you think it was a blur from your perspective, wait till you go home and watch this broadcast. When you get out and sit down and watch this broadcast, man alive, this had to be the race of the year, Paul.
Really? Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Race 2 was bonkers. It really was. All I can say is these guys are so good at racing close quarters. I'm on a single monitor, so I've got to be real careful. But that was absolute crazy, but thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I've got to congratulate Sam.
Yes, right.
What a result for Sam Katakousanos indeed, because he had a gap of over 3 seconds at one point, and as that gap was gobbled up, I wasn't very convinced he was going to hold on.
Yeah, it's the thing is, you get on the straight, the toe's not as strong as you think it's going to be. So you've really got to get off that last corner onto the front straight really cleanly. And then, of course, 9 times out of 10, you're side by side into T1. And then it's sort of decision time. So it's just really tricky. But fantastic racing. It was great. Really enjoyed it.
And we've got Sandford next. I mean, I was just going through your results for tonight. 9th in race 1, 2nd in race 2, and 3rd in race 3. We've got Sandford next. It's going to be a different circuit with a lot of downforce over there. So is that the kind of circuit you're looking forward to?
Zandvoort's not one of my favourite, but this car actually goes really well around there. So, I think we're going to be in for another close one like this, if I'm honest. I really think, I think it's going to be a big scrap.
Anyone you want to shout out to, Paul, before we let you go?
I think Stefan, did he finish 5th in race 1, Stefan Mellis?
Just looking to see where he ended up, actually, because I went to re-jog on the race results in race number. I think he did take one of the AM wins in that first race. Yeah, I think he won in race 1. Yeah, he won in race 1. He won the AMs in race number 1. I'm looking through to see where he ended up in race number 2, so just please bear with. 2nd in the AMs, 8th overall. And in that last race, he ended up finishing only ahead of Steve Webb. So he ended up finishing 4th in the AMs in race number 3.
Oh, he's had a good night. So, shout out to Stefan. Apologies to John for race 1, but that's racing, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed.
That was a manic few races there. Paul, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us, and the best of luck to you at Sandford in 7 days' time.
Cheers, guys. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Oh, my goodness. I'm still trying to catch my breath after all that.
I am as well. We'll speak to the man who won the first race of this evening, Jack Veazey. A great job this evening to begin with. Despite the collision you had with Luke Maxwell in the closing stages, didn't seem to affect the car too much. But race 2 and 3 was a little bit more bittersome.
Yeah, race 2 was alright. I finished 3rd, but the final race I was chasing down Sam and binned it in spectacular fashion. So still getting to grips with the car. Or in that case, not to grips, because I was just all over the place. But first race was, Luke had a slight wiggle in front of me, and I don't really have time to react. So sort of think I watched the broadcast back. I think I knocked his wing off, or something like that.
You did, yeah. But again,
yeah.
that was definitely not your fault. You had no time there when he wiggled in front of you. There was nothing you could do.
Yep. And then in the second race, I hit him again, and that was probably a bit more on me that one because again he wiggled, but I was a bit heavy-footed on the gas, so yeah, I probably did. I messaged him after the race. I said I could have given you some more breathing room there, but yeah, he'll be having nightmares about me tonight probably.
Oh, do we have a rivalry building up? No,
He's too nice. He can't have a rivalry. It's impossible. Yeah. But yeah, a good night all in all. And in the last race, I made a slight recovery. I think I was dead. I was dead last after I spun round, so I'll take 7th place.
And the more points in the bag for the championship, the standings will update in due course. And that's 6 rounds down now, Jack. Where do you think you've improved the most from when you first joined us?
Probably in all areas. I'm still getting used to the start. Today they were a bit cleaner, so that's probably the biggest improvement from my first race. But yeah, this is a really tricky beast to tame.
I want to interject there if I can, because I've been watching you since you arrived, and where I think that you've improved the most is your ability to race these cars side by side in such tight, close quarters. You know, you were fast from the day you arrived, but the car seemed to step out more on you when some of the air was taken off of it, and you were getting to grips with that. But over the last few events, man, you seem to have really come to grips with being able to run these cars side by side in really, really close quarters. Obviously the incident with Luke earlier, but I think you could chalk both of those up to racing incidents. I don't even think the second one was on you really at all. So that's just my opinion from watching you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'm getting used to the car. It's definitely, normally I race MX5, so it's a big step up in terms of speed and the rears lighting themselves up and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm getting there, and I'm pretty confident now behind the wheel.
Really? I'm sorry. MX5 is your car of choice? That's what you really? Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did the MX5 World Sim Series last year on iRacing, which was really competitive. So,
right. Yeah.
It's always been my go-to car to. I do GT4s as well, not solely MX5.
Right, but that's awesome. Okay, I didn't know that. Sorry to interrupt you, Tom. That caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting that. Very nice.
No, it's okay. No, I like that, actually. I am a fan of the MX5. I think it's a very good car to race in as well. With Zandvoort next, then we've got Suzuka, Thruxton, and Monster to close out the campaign. Do you feel you are a championship contender at this moment in time?
Yeah, I think I was third going into this round. So yeah, I'm in it to win it at this point. So just need to get as many points as possible. Thruxton is a new track to me. I need to purchase it and do some laps, so I might struggle, but I'm familiar with all of the other tracks.
Excellent. And anyone you want to shout out to, Jack, before we let you go?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to my dad this time. So yeah, shout out to you, Dad.
Nice. Thank you very much. Jack, thank you very much for speaking to us. Well done on your victory in race 1, and hopefully more to come from you in 7 days' time in Zandvoort.
Cheers. Thanks a lot.
No problem. We'll get a word with the man that came out on top in race number 2, Paul Crabb. 2 wins this season now. I don't think you picked up a win last season, but this season you seem to have stepped up your game.
You just didn't step up in wanting to speak to us, apparently.
It may have come away from his
he probably did.
His PC for a moment. We'll put him back in the waiting room for now. We'll get a word with John Hutchison, who, another round and still only the 1 win at Imola this season, but at least he's still finished in 2nd position in the last race of tonight. John, that was very intense. Those last few laps involving you, Mike, Paul May, and Luke Maxwell there, that was just unbelievable. And the fact we had an AM winner coming out on top this time, made it a different kind of challenge compared to maybe what you've been used to?
That was a great advert for our league tonight. You know, the driving there was first class. The skill level was top notch. You know, and you can't get better racing than that.
If you don't like what happened here tonight, you don't like racing.
No, exactly. I mean, there was door to door, there was banging, but there was nothing. Intentional. You know, it was all really good, clean racing. And congratulations to Sam, showing that the new guy can come in, win the league. Arms can win the league, or win the race, sorry, if everything falls for you. You know, so good luck to him. Well done.
And I really hope we see more of him, like, in the coming rounds. I hope tonight was not just, you know, the cameo appearance that we see of him. I do want to see him around for the coming rounds, but just, you know, you're still in the lead of the championship as far as I know, with the drop scores involved in this, John, but this has been a lot closer of a season. I know you mentioned it perhaps last week when you finished second in the Mont, but it feels to me like I don't want to say that you've slowed down. I think it's more the fact that Luke, Mike, Paul LeMay, and perhaps Jack Veazey as well, those drivers have stepped up this season.
And Paul.
And Paul LeMay. Well, yeah, I did say Paul.
Paul Crabb, too.
Oh, Paul Crabb, yeah, that was it.
I'm only racing this car tonight. That's the only time I'm racing it. I barely do a half-hour practice through the week now because I'm playing Le Mans Ultimate, stuff like that. And I'm busy doing other things. So I'm not putting the practice in I used to. But I'll correct you on the league. Mike Busson's top of the league now. Mike's got 195, Jack Veazey's got 194, and I've got 193. So that's how close it is.
Did you say Mike Busson's top of the table now?
Yep.
Wow. I can't wait to see the standings. I can't wait to see the standings overall.
I'm surprised he's not. I'm surprised he's not in here beating his chest tonight. You know,
that's just so right. He hasn't noticed, obviously.
Yeah, clearly.
It's been a phenomenal season so far. I've absolutely enjoyed it, John. We've got Zandvoort, Suzuka, Thruxton, and historic Monza. I don't think I've seen you. I think I've seen you do Suzuka maybe at some point, maybe in another campaign, but I don't think Zandvoort's one I've seen you do, unless I remember correctly. I can't remember, but sometimes my memory can go a little bit blasé. But how are you feeling about the remaining rounds?
Yeah, I've got no issues with Zandvoort. Really, really good. And it's one of those tracks you can attack, you know, and make time in corners, or you can look at it and you lose your lap. So looking forward to it. Should be good racing again.
And anyone you want to shout out to before we let you go?
Just a shout out to all the guys in the league tonight. You know, that was brilliant racing. Not so much the first race, but these things happen. But race 2 and 3 for me were brilliant. I really loved it. John,
well done this evening. Second place in that last race as well. I know maybe the first couple didn't exactly go the way maybe you wanted to, but I'm sure there's many more chances for you to pull it back and retain your title this time around.
Definitely. Thanks, guys. Thanks.
No problem. Thank you very much, John. We'll get a word, hopefully, with the race 2 winner, Paul Crabb, this time. Paul, are you there?
I am.
See, he did want to talk to me. You said he didn't.
Yeah.
I was very polite the first time. I might be less polite this time.
A better evening, this, would you say, compared to maybe the previous? Because I know you want to race at Charlotte Roval, but I think tonight, in a way, there weren't really too many mistakes from you in particular.
No, the only one where I really messed up was at the start of Heat 1, where I failed to engage first gear, and I think I completely messed up Sam's race in Heat 1. So apologies to Sam, because he piled into the back of me, tried to avoid me. Yeah. So, but after Heat 1, I mean, all 3 races, I had a blast. My highlight was Heat 2. Passing Luke on, I think, at the first or second lap, I think.
That pass you made on Jamie in was that in race 1? Yeah, race 1 you passed Jamie going into I don't know the corners. It was at Honda, I think. Yeah, and then you made the same pass in race 2 on Luke at the same spot. Seemed like you really had that corner dialed in tonight, man. That was both of them super clean passes on guys that were running really fast when you passed them.
Yeah, I got it. I practiced a few times breaking hard into that from the right hand side entry, and it works. It's almost like a block pass. As soon as you're in there, the guys on the outside, they've got plenty of room, but all their momentum is gone. So it works nicely.
Yeah, well, your secret's out now, thanks to me. I just made you reveal that. But well, so a real quick question on that. You worked your way back up pretty decent in race one, considering the fact that start and the fact that Sam basically, not his fault, but basically jumped over the back of your car. You obviously didn't sustain too much damage from that, huh? It seemed like it still drove okay.
I definitely was. I was quite a bit down on top speed, but the handling was absolutely fine, and even the aero in the corners was okay. It was just a bit sluggish, but basically most people seem to throw themselves off the track in front of me. So that was more what happened than my good driving.
Yeah, I'm sure that Paul and Luke would disagree with that way going into Honda for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good round itself for you, Paul. And I know maybe race 3 didn't exactly go to plan for you, but how do you assess your season so far with 4 rounds still to go?
Oh, this was great. I've had one of the best seasons in a while. I've had some good results. I've had some really good racing, and I feel like I'm closer to the lead pace than I have been for the last few seasons, which is satisfying. I haven't put any really decent results together yet, but then there's some really quick guys around, so it's
a lot of them too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to tell you real quick before we get off here with you too. I'm sure you've heard me say this on the broadcast, but you are running one of my absolute favorite liveries of all time. Because of memories of my very first sports car race I ever went to was an IMSA race. It was the 12 Hours of Sebring, actually. And Martin Brundle was driving that Jaguar back in those days, right after he left Formula One. And I was there with a GTU car team, and we were pitted right next to the Jaguars. And I got the chance to meet Martin Brundle there, and just that car, the way those cars looked back then, they were just so awesome. And I still love that livery today, and I'm glad that you've run it now for several seasons. So yeah, I love it.
Oh, I've been running that livery for probably 6 or 7 years. Ever since I found it for the SR8, I've stuck with it. I had to change it there was some series or other where they got all snotty about logos and liveries and stuff. So I was forced to change it, but that's the only time I've not run it. It's my favorite. I really like it. Yeah. Even though it says Jaguar and it's an SR8, but
that's all right. That's all
detail.
Yeah, it's all in good fun,
Yeah.
So, anyone want to shout out to Paul before we let you go?
Oh, well, shout out to Sam. For to drop in this evening, take a hammering in Heat 1 and then come back and win the feature. Great performance. Yeah.
And so it was. I do hope we get a word with him actually, because he did put on a really good show in that third and final race. But I don't know if he's going to be able to.
I don't think he's there. He may not know about the interview waiting room and stuff. So
okay. Well, he's just come in the live chat now saying that he didn't know there's a broadcast, so. It may not be able to make it in time, but if it doesn't, hopefully we'll get a word with him next week, and then we can catch up about his performances here at Phillip Island.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah. Okay, gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Paul, and best of luck for Zandvoort next week.
Yeah, looking forward to that. I'm not great around Zandvoort, but I do like the track, so it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah,
it'll be a lot of fun indeed outside the city of Amsterdam. Paul, thank you very much, and we'll talk again soon.
Okay. Cheers, gentlemen. Bye.
Bye-bye. And so that rounds out what's been a spellbinding evening of action here at Phillip Island, Australia. Does this rank up there for you, Jim?
Oh, by far the best race of this year. I mean, not that we haven't had some good ones, because we have. In fact, I would only say we had one dud, and unfortunately that was Le Mans. But no, we've had some good racing, but this one, yeah, this is the Thruxton and the Knockhill of last year. Just surprise races that, yeah, what can I say, man? This is as good as it gets right here.
Yeah. Well, it's been that sort of evening. Thank you very much, Jim, for your company this evening. And thank you to everyone that's tuned in. Do make sure you like and subscribe so you can keep right up to date with everything that's happening on the JP Broadcasting YouTube channel, including this particular series. It's time to sign off, and we'll do it all again in 7 days' time. I'm Tom Cairns with Jim Cunningham, and we'll speak to you again soon when the Radical SR8 Championship returns.